is the time. We have made it all the way to offensive linemen. Let's talk about that. What is up, Finn fans? You have no idea. You have no idea. I read all the comments. It's probably a bad thing because a lot of you guys say great things and very constructive criticisms and make the channel grow. And then there's people on there that just are say mean things to me. It is what it is. But I read all the comments, and there have been so many comments when I was talking about quarterbacks, when I was talking about running backs, when I was talking about tight ends. We don't need these positions. We need offensive linemen. So many of these comments, even though in every one of these videos, I think in the beginning and also at the end, I give you a rundown of the schedule and how I'm literally doing it like a depth chart. And I'm doing quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive line, and then I'm going to go defensive line, linebackers, corners, safeties. Like every time there's a few comments in there like, we don't need these positions. So we're here, man. We made it. We're at the offensive line. All right, you happy? Real quick, I do have to shout out today's sponsors, BetUS TV. Go check them out at betustv.com for your odds, your markets, and your sports content. Go check them out. You can also find them here and on X at BetUS TV. We don't need quarterbacks. I'm telling you. Go to the quarterbacks, the running backs, and the tight end video. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. But also look in the comment section. You will see some people who are like genuinely upset that I'm not talking about offensive linemen yet. When I'm told, like, I give you guys the rundown. I give you guys the rundown for the month and like what I'm thinking about doing this week. Right over their heads. So it genuinely made me laugh. It genuinely made me laugh. So we are talking offensive linemen. I am doing offensive linemen in a whole. I am not talking about centers. The Dolphins don't need a center. If they take a center later in the draft, cool. But I'm talking like these are people I want to take in the first and second round. And one of you commented, yes, in the last video, if you're going to do all of the offensive line, you have to do more than 5. And I was like, you got it, big guy. So I'm doing 7. We're doing top 7 offensive linemen, but I also have 4 honorable mentions for this. So without further ado, some honorable mentions. I have Ozzie Trapillo out of Boston College. The man's huge. If you don't know about Ozzie, he is 6'8", 316 pounds. But the thing is, he has 32-inch arm length. Yes, arm length is important, especially for a tackle. And we will talk about that because there are some guys on my list that have short arms. Then you have Josh Cornley Jr., Connerly Jr. out of Oregon. Like him a lot. You also have Donovan Jackson, guard out of Ohio State. I like him a lot. And you have Tate Ratledge, guard out of Georgia. If the Dolphins take any of those 3 guys, happy in the first 2 rounds. Ozzie, I feel like he's more of a 3rd rounder. We'll see how that pans out. But without further ado, let's talk about my top 7. We got some guards in there. We got some tackles in there. We got some tackles that could play guard. So let's jump into it with number 7, Jonah Savea. I had it. I swear I had it before I hit record, and now it's just Jonah Savea out of Arizona. 6'5", 336 pounds, ran a 4.95, 33 7/8 arm. He also, and I'm going for the offensive lineman, also for the defensive lineman, probably on Friday. I'm going to give you their 40s. Their 40s and their 10s. Because for offensive linemen, you're not going to have them running 40 yards. You want to know that 10-yarder. And he has a 1.72. Great tackle. Oh, sorry, not great tackle. I put EXP. So first, again, I take notes. I got 2 pages of notes for these guys. I put EXP thinking exceptional. No, it means experience at both tackle and guard. Pass pro regardless. So, you know, he has great pass protection regardless if he's at tackle or guard. Rarely gets caught on his heels, which is good. You get caught on your heels as an offensive lineman, you're going on your tuchus. And we know a man on this team right now who got brought back who we see on his tuchus a lot. Quick hands, and he deters outside rushers. You're going to hear this a lot when I'm breaking down these prospects is you want fast, strong hands. And if you're playing tackle, you want that fast hand and you want to hit that outside shoulder. So if I'm playing right tackle, you want to hit that outside shoulder, bring them inside so your guard can help you. You want to have fast feet so you can get outside. You want that first step to be quick. You can get outside, beat the edge rush to the outside. Also quick, fast hands. Move them around your quarterback. So Jonah, quick hands deters outside rush because he's moving them. That's what you want. You want those quick hands where they're hitting them and you want to move them. Move them away from the quarterback. Move them around the quarterback. Give the quarterback ability to step up in the pocket. There's your positives. Not great. Below average run blocking. Struggles with inside moves. So again, if they're going to the inside, he's kind of like, oh my God. And he has a hard time dealing with players that are equal to his strength, height, and all that other stuff. I like Jonah Savaianea. I would love him at 48. Will he be there at 48? I don't think so. But again, I would love him at 48, especially if we go defensive tackle in the first round and you get Jonah Savaianea in the, the more I'm saying it, the smoother it's coming out, at 48. Gucci. We get like Grant at 13 and Jonah Savaianea at 48. All right, cool. Do whatever you want with the rest of the draft. I'm fine. Kind of make me feel a little bit better. So that is number 7. Now we got number 6. Who is my number 6? And this guy, you're probably like, wow, number 6? That's Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. Some people have him higher. There are people that have him 3rd ranked. Some people have him 4th ranked. I have him 6th ranked. 6'5", 310 pounds. He did not run a 40-yarder at the combine. Great stance, wide base, which you want. You want that anchor, not going to be moved. He has good balance, especially low pad level. Again, you don't want to be too high. When the ball snapped, you don't want to come up too quick because, again, that's another instance you're going to get pushed on your tuchus. He plays through the blocks. He plays through the whistle. That's what you want. You ever see those guys who are just blocking their man all the way down the field? That's what you want to see. Footwork is great. He's got quick hips. Again, catch it to the outside. He is a tackle. Jonah Savaianea, probably going to be a guard. He is going to be a tackle, probably a left tackle, even though he has experience at right tackle. Quick feet, quick hips, and great footwork. That's what you want out of a tackle, especially someone who's going to be pulling to the outsides. Here's the negatives. He tends to, his hands get low when he's blocking, and that's not good because then you could just push his hands down and then you're going to come toppling in, just get him out of your way. So he has to get his hands up. But again, you can just easily teach this. Run game, not his strength. That's one of the reasons I have him at 6. And he has a hard time anchoring a little bit. He has a tougher time anchoring. So why 6? Why do I have somebody that people have much higher than I do? I'm no expert. Who the crap am I? His injury history. He has a crazy injury history. I know some people have mocked him at 13 to the Dolphins, especially because now Teron Armstead retired, blah, 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 blah. His injury history scares the crap out of me, and that's why I dropped him to number 6. If he did not have an injury history, I'd probably have him at like 3. Because I do like, the pad level, his play through, all that stuff. I like his size, 6'5", 310. I like all of that, especially like that he played at Ohio State. It's the injuries and his struggle in the run game. So that's why I got him at number 6. Now my top 5. And number 5 is Tyler Booker out of Alabama, 6'5", 325 pounds, ran a 5.38, 196, 10. Arm length is not a problem with this gentleman. 34.5-inch arms, probably going to be playing guard. Again, here's some of the positives. He has that NFL guard build, strong legs and hands, something, again, you want as an offensive lineman. Takes on double teams really well. Pause on that. Great blocker, high IQ, impressive recovery. So if he tends to get beat, he is very impressive at getting back to his guy and having a great recovery. Good eye for stunts, blitzes, and he finishes. He's a finisher. He's going to block you to the ground. Now to the negatives. Balance can be off at times, and he can get caught from behind. Doesn't have fast feet, so he has the slow feet. Also, the reason I have him at number 5, again, another situation where I probably would be having him higher, but I also would love Tyler Booker at 48, not 13. I know I've seen people mock him at 13. He had a horrible combine, like his 40 time and like a bunch of other things. He did not have a good combine. So that's why I'm at number 5, because I personally think the guys I have at 4-1 are better than him, but that doesn't mean I would be upset if they took him at 48. Will he get there, be there 48? No, definitely not. He'll probably, this is a guy I could see going 20s to 30s. But I think 13 is too high for him. If we did have like the 23rd, 25th, whatever, like we trade it back, then I'm good with that. But I'll talk the same thing about the defensive tackles. But no, 13 is way too high for him, and I don't think he'll be that 48. So we'll see how that all pans out. Then we have my number 4. Great. Threw an E in the beginning of that. Gray Zabel. Absolutely love Gray Zabel. I loved him at the Combine. I loved him at the Shrine Bowl, the Senior Bowl. He was just, that's where I really noticed Gray Zabel. Was the Senior Bowl. North Dakota State, 6'6", 305 pounds. No 40 time, short arms, but he will play guard. He is considered a guard. Athletic. He's got an explosive first step, so he is going to punch you in the mouth before you can get to him. Thrives in zone scheme. What do the Miami Dolphins run? Zone scheme. Constant and effective drive with his legs. He's got a great core, which will obviously help him to be in contact and control of the defensive lineman. And he's got very flexible hips. Again, help him to turn, move guys, to pull. Again, that is the thing. His first step and his explosiveness and all that stuff is why he will do really well in zones and pulling and all that other stuff. Now, the negatives, 90 percentile when it comes to his height and weight for center. So again, this is a guy who Gray Zabel, who can probably be a guard / center. If he comes to Miami, I would like him at guard. Small hands and arms, again, 32-inch arm length. His hands tend to slide and move around a lot. He needs to have more control over them, more decisive punches. He struggles with edges beating him on the inside. Obviously, he won't be on the outside playing tackle, but when you're playing guard, you got to worry about that, especially with stunts. Love him at 48, way too high at 13, but again, another guy I do not think makes it to 48. If he slides like Creed Humphreys did a few years back, maybe the Dolphins get him at 48. Same thing with Booker. Maybe these guys, for some reason, are overhyped when it comes to the media and other people, and they don't go in the 20s to 30s, because again, that's where I'm seeing him being mocked. Maybe they slide and the Dolphins can get him at 48. Again, I would be ecstatic. Gray Zabel is a guy I would love at 48. Now, would I trade up for him? Probably not, because it would cost too much, but I like Gray Zabel there. Then my number 3. Now we get into the top 3. My number 3, Calvin Banks Jr. out of Texas. He is a tackle, 6'4", 320, ran a 5.16 40, 179 10-yard dash, 33.5-inch arms. So he's not the longest of arms, but average NFL arms. Wide base, powerful stance, going to anchor himself down. great foot speed, explosiveness, lowers the pad levels, so he is getting up, being able to lift and push these guys out of the way. He's a second level blocker. He's going to get to that second level. He's going to hit those safeties, going to hit those linebackers. Great blocker there. And he has really good balance for a guy that is 320 pounds. His downsides, his negatives, he gets caught with that push-pull technique. If you don't know what that is, Cameron Wake did it a lot. They will push you. So while they're pushing you, say you're the offensive lineman, I'm the defensive lineman. I'm going to hit you and push you because I'm going to try to drive you into your quarterback. So as you're getting pushed, your instinct is to push back. What these defensive ends do is they will push you and then they will pull you. So as you get pushed, your instinct is to push forward. I don't want you to push me back. And as you push forward, they will pull you and pull you down. Push-pull technique. Cameron Wake did it all the time. He gets caught in that a lot. He needs to improve on his grip. Tends to slip. Don't mean to joke around about that. And some consider him to have short arms. I don't. I think 33.5 isn't too bad. Some people mock him at 13 to the Dolphins. I wouldn't be upset with that. I think they need more of a guard. I think they need more defensive tackle corner. I don't think they need a tackle, and he's not a guy who's going to want to kick inside and play guard. He could. He's only 6'4", so if they did get Calvin Banks, they probably could kick him to the inside, which, again, I wouldn't be upset. But if he's like, no, I want to play tackle, that's where the problem comes in because, I think Calvin Banks could be a situation where we draft him, kick him into guard. If Patrick Paul starts to struggle, you can put him out at tackle, see how he does there. So I wouldn't be upset with him at 13. Now you get to my top two. My top two could be interchanged, and I have a reason why I have my two at my two and my one at my one. Number two, Will Campbell out of LSU, 6'6", 323 pounds. He ran a 4.98 40, a 1.76 10-yard dash. 32 5/8 inch arm lengths. He's got short arms, but he's a good tackle. Strong balance. He has control. He's precise with his hits. He's ready to strike. Great core strength, which will obviously maintain the blocks and be able to control his body. Patient. He's smart. He's aware. These stunts won't get to him. He'll be able to point out and notice the blitzers, especially if he's playing tackle, if it's a corner, if it's a safety coming down. His negatives, high pad level, again, the short arms, which then he has the short arms. In the run game, he tends to reach too much. Because as a pass blocker, short arms for a tackle sucks because you got to move, but you're waiting for them to come to you, right? As in the pass rush, you can contact and you can make the first adjustment, but more of the times you're waiting for them to come to you, whereas in the run game, you're aggressive and you're going forward and hitting. Short arms, you tend to reach too far, and it tends to overextend himself. And he kind of, struggles to block the inside move. Now, the reason I have him number two is because of the arm length. And because he is dead set on playing tackle. Now, I like him. The reason I have him at number two is, one, he is a very good offensive lineman, and two, I have him over Calvin Banks Jr. is because of his attitude, his good attitude. When talked about his arm length, he said, you guys didn't notice nor care about the arm length until it was measured. When you watched him at LSU, when you watched him play, when you watched him block, no one noticed or said anything about his arm length until it was a thing because it was measured. Love that attitude, essentially telling him, I'm fine. You saw what I could do. I'm fine. That's why I have him at number two above Calvin Banks Jr. But I have my number one because this man, I liked him. And then I saw what he did at the combine, and then I did more research, and I like him even more. My number one offensive lineman, and I don't think he makes it to 13, but I would love for the Dolphins to take him at 13, is Armand Membu out of Missouri. 6'3", 313, ran a loud 4.91 40 with a 1.74 10-yard dash, 33.5-inch arms. He is willing to play guard. Now, he has the capability of playing tackle, but he is willing to play guard. His hips and his legs are balanced. He has great hips and legs, obviously, that anchor, balanced, powerful. He's explosive out of his stance. He's going to hit you in the mouth. Movement and footwork are great. Fast feet, pull blocker, loves to do it, loves to be a lead blocker. These are things that would be fantastic for the Miami Dolphins, especially if he's at guard, especially with that pull lead blocking and how good he is at that. Would love it. Now, again, he's more, from what you see at 6'3", 314 and the 33.5-inch arms, you're thinking more guard. Again, he struggles to anchor himself against the edges, more guard, a little more. He needs to build up his strength a little bit more, and he needs to learn to finish. Keep pushing through it, go to the whistle. But he's good, man. I really like him. I think the Dolphins would get a steal if somehow he fell to 13, but there is too many people in front of, too many teams in front of the Dolphins at 13 that would very easily jump on the aspect of taking him and adding him to their offensive line, whether it's the Jets or the Raiders. But I think Gentry goes to the Raiders. Whether it's any of these teams, I really think he's not going to make it. Which sucks, because I would absolutely love for him to make it to the Miami Dolphins. But you look at teams like the Patriots, the Jaguars can use him. The Jets can definitely use him. Panthers, he can play left guard. Saints can use him. The Bears refortify that offensive line even more. San Francisco can use him. Arizona can use him. I would absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. But I don't think he makes it to 13. But that's my top 7 offensive linemen. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Also, shout out to BetUS TV. Go check them out and see what you think. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. I think we're at the point where I'm going to start talking like concepts and looking at the draft 3 years ago and, reacting to it and redrafting that draft, as well as we're going to look at best and worst case scenario for the Dolphins. We're going to look at, needs, lots and lots of things. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. FN's up.